Senator Ovie, Omo-Agege, former Deputy Senate President. Good morning, Senator Omo-Agege. You're most welcome to the morning show today.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
All right, excellent. Right. In my introduction, I talked about some of the statements made by the governor of your state, Delta State, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, and I'll just highlight a few things, and I'd love to get your response on this. He said that, like I said, you didn't consult with anyone, unlike he who did and was able to get the consensus, and he, as you would know, in the primaries, he ran unopposed and won massively with a massive vote. He also said that the primaries were free and fair. The process was transparent. Indeed, he said very transparent. So there's no cause for any complaint as to how the process was organized. He said you'd always wanted to leave. In fact, he said you're not someone that can be trusted, that you betray the people that have come before you who supported you to be in the politician that you are today. What do you have to say about these statements made by the governor of your state?
Thank you very much, and I thank you for the opportunity to come before Nigerians today, most especially Deltans, to respond to some of these very spurious allegations that were made by the governor of my state. And I will take them, in sequence, starting with his remarks that I, Ovie Omo-Agege, constitute no threat. Let me start by telling you, in the 2023 general elections, the APC that I led won 2 Senate seats in Delta State out of the 3. And of these 2, Delta Central District, where the governor and I both come from, my party, led by me, won it in a head-to-head contest between the governor and I. I won a total of 115,245 votes, while the governor managed to pull in 100,089 votes, with a difference of 15,000 votes. This is the votes that separate the governor and myself. We are both Urobo people. We are both from Delta Central District. The people who know Sheriff Oborevwori and myself best made a judgment, and over 15,000 of them gave me more votes than the governor. That's number one. In the Senate contest, in the only Senate seat in Delta Central that was in contest between the party led by Oborevwori and his boss, Okowa, the PDP at the time, the only Senate seat that was in contest, I won it on behalf of my party. For Senator Ede Dafe. Now, in the 3 House of Rep seats that are in Delta Central Senatorial District, I won 2. The governor won 0. The third one that I didn't win, which is the governor's own federal constituency, he lost it to the Labour Party. The governor's own federal constituency, he lost it to the Labour Party. I won 2 of the 3 federal house seats. Now, of the 9 State House of Assembly seats in Delta Central Senatorial District, a district where he and I are from, I won 5 of those seats. He won only 4. In addition to winning another Senate seat in Delta South, which produced Senator Joel Onokwakbo, and in fact, I would have taken the 3rd seat, the 3rd Senate seat in Delta North, if Okowa and others had not conspired to put my candidate, Senator Peter Obi, in prison at the time. Now, following this contest, I moved around the state, trying to reorganize the party in preparation for the 2027 general elections. And in the course of my thank you tour of the state, there was mass decampment of people from the PDP into the APC. These are people who had no confidence in this governor. People who believed that I was cheated in the governorship elections, that I actually won the governorship elections. And the governor himself knows that I won the governorship elections in 2023. But of course, the Supreme Court gave their verdict. That's the final court in the land. I had no choice but to accept it. But mark this, there never was a time when I considered the governorship election to Sheriff Oborevwori. Now, having said that, the people, most people, especially in the then PDP, They were not happy with the governor, and they started moving into the APC to support me in the 2027 general elections. And when Sheriff saw what was happening, he panicked, chickened out and ran into the APC to join me. Of course, you know the policy of the APC, that governors are always given the right of first refusal. Now, with if Sheriff believed that I was not a threat to him, why didn't he stay back in PDP and take on me in 2027? I think the jury is out on that. Now,
Absolutely.
moving on from that.
Yeah, thank you for painting that picture. That's very much appreciated. No, well, the argument begins at that point where they say the governor moved into APC and, in essence, inherited your structure. And so, you know, from that point, the argument is that you were alienated within the APC, so much that when the state congress was held in March, you didn't show up. And so it's on this premise that they're saying that, well, you never consulted anybody. You now showed up for the primary to contest for the primary without having consulted people, without even having attended a state congress. So my question to you is, why did you begin to boycott the APC and then still go and contest for a governorship ticket under the same party?
Let me tell you this. In the 2023 general elections, I had the support of 240,000 Deltans who came out, believed in me, fought for me, and voted for me. That organic support of that 240,000 voters remain till this day. Now, when I went for the primaries, you know, despite all of the odds, because of the government apparatus that was set up against me, because of what transpired during the congresses, and what transpired during the congresses was that there was a directive from Mr. President, the leader of the APC, that there should be a 60-40 sharing arrangement, you know, between we, at that time, the old APC, and the new intakes. Now, why that 60-40 was implemented across the board in almost every state, in Delta State, Sheriff Oborevwori and his crew decided that they were not going to do that. So yes, they came in and basically wiped out everyone. These are people who fought to give the president the vote that he had in 2023, despite the objections and the ferocious fight that was put forward by Sheriff Oborevwori, Okowa, and co. against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, these are the people who fought for the president to get close to about 100,000 votes in Delta. But Sheriff came on board with his people and wiped all of these people out during the congresses. But tell you what, you know, despite the fact that the administrative structure of the party was taken by them, the people remained with me. The people never left me. That organic support remained. And of course, in the course of the primaries, I came home. I consulted widely with these people, with the leaders and these organic supporters of mine in the party. And the decision was taken that I should go for the primaries. And guess what? We went to the field. And we won massively in every ward. The only ward we lost in that primaries was the governor's own ward. You know, but out of the 85 wards, we won 84 wards in the course of that primaries. And I came up with a total of about 109,000 votes to Ede Dafinone's 7,000 plus votes. But of course, you know, you're not a politician. You may not know how these direct primaries work. Unlike the general elections where you have the protections of INEC, you know, in the party primaries, it is the panel that is set up by the party headquarters in Abuja that comes in to conduct these primaries. Okay. to the extent that we had a sitting governor who was given this panel, which panel he refused to make available, to conduct a free and fair primaries. So my votes were not recorded. We actually won that primaries.
Okay, I'm curious because after all that happened, you've aborted that mission, and now you're running for the Senate in NDC. That one is also contentious because the results circulating were saying you may not have clinched the seat, and that there's possibly negotiations happening behind the scenes with the national leader. But who is your presidential candidate for 2027? Now that you've moved to NDC, does this mean that you are endorsing Peter Obi for 2027, or are you still loyal to President Bola Tinubu?
I will take your questions in sequence. Who is my presidential candidate in 2027? Of course, it's Peter Obi of the NDC. I'm not a member of the NDC. And your next question is, I say, have I endorsed Peter Obi for the presidency in 2027? Of course, I've endorsed him for the presidency in 2027. I'm a member of the NDC now. You see, I'm a political animal, very, very loyal political animal. Wherever I am, I show and display my loyalty. When I was in APC, I gave my all. I supported the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari because he was my party leader. And I gave my all. I supported him 100%. The loyalty was not 99.9%. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, we fought for him. We supported him 100%. My loyalty was total. Likewise, now that I've moved to the NDC, you can take it to the bank that my loyalty to the party and to the president.
Senator Omo-Agege, looking at your reaction when the result of the APC, senatorial Delta Senate.
One more thing. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Was released. You said you would not be a sitting duck. Can you hear me, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege?
Yes.
Senator Omo-Agege. Okay. Yes. Yes. Rather than just let me land, distinguished. Rather than filing your petition to the party's appeal committee, you rather defected to the NDC. And from the feelers we've gotten, though the party said that the headquarters will release the list of the winners, but from the results released so far, there's strong indication that you also lost to Mr. Dema. So would you still, if it turns out that you eventually lost in the Delta Central senatorial seat, would you still be loyal to the NDC party and Mr. Obi's candidacy? And what does this say about your electoral value?
Thank you very much. Now, ordinarily, this is not a question I ought to dignify. But I'll just tell you this. If you believe that I lost a primary in NDC, then I have a plot of land to sell to you in the middle of the Atlantic. We have done the primaries, and I won the primaries of the NDC total, as in all 8 local government areas. I don't think there's any dispute about that. Now, I'm a lawyer.
We're not doubting you, but we are saying that if it turns out, that you lose, that you lost the NDC primaries, would you still be loyal to the party? Because the result is still in contention, and by the party guidelines, the party's headquarters would have to release the winners of that election. So if it turns out that you lost this election, would you still be loyal to the party, and what does this say about your electoral value?
Well, and the way to answer that question is this. You can take it to the bank that I have won that primary. So even that premise, I don't think it's even worthy of a response.
No,
that primary has been conducted, and I won it 100%. And no. Just hear me out, please. I could have gone out there and released the results. We have the results, but we've been told by the party not to release the results ourselves until formally, they do so formally. Today, there's a NEC meeting of NDC. I'm just 5 or 6 days old in the party now, by the way, and I'm told I'm a member of the NEC. And at the NEC meeting today, we're going to be ratifying those results. At the risk of giving you an insider information, I can tell you that there's no contention whatsoever as to who won the senatorial primary in Delta Central. I won it. I am the candidate, but I would rather wait for the party to formally make that announcement. And let me also tell you, all those information you referred to, as the basis of your question, those are information that are being peddled by Sheriff Oborevwori's e-rats in the social media, or to run me down. They are scared of me, and they have every reason to be scared, because they know that going head to head with Sheriff, they know what I can do to him in the elections. I did it before, and I can do it again. Now I'm not running for governor, but I'm glad that yesterday at the stakeholders meeting, we finally concluded on who our Guba candidate for Delta would be. And I'm so proud, with the decision that was made. We're going to bring in somebody who is eloquent, who is articulate, who understands what it means, to be a governor of a state. I'm not one who just clamors for a title. I am governor, I'm governor, without knowing what to do with the office. You see, people ought to know that the hood does not make the monk. The mere fact that you were declared a governor by itself is not enough. You must show why you were elected. You must let us see what policies you have that will ameliorate the conditions of the people that you were purportedly elected to lead. But thank God we have somebody who is coming on board, who has been in the business world, who has created wealth, who knows what to do to move the state forward, and not one who is just an empty suit, who, despite receipt of over 3.15 trillion in 3 years, there's nothing on ground. There's nothing on ground in Delta State other than 3 or 4 flyovers. As if flyover is all about is what all about governance is. At least we have somebody who is coming on board, somebody who is managed people, who is managed resources, who will know what to do with the resources coming to the state. As I speak to you right now, despite the receipt of this 3.15 trillion naira in 3 years, we have about 750 billion naira of state funds sitting idle in the CBN, because this government is just clueless. It doesn't even know what to do with the money. But we have somebody who is coming on board, who has created wealth, who has managed people, managed resources, who will put this money to use in such a way and manner that the issue of hunger in the land will be addressed, the issue of deficit in the accommodation for our people will be addressed, the issue of insecurity will be addressed, the issue of dilapidation in our schools, primary and secondary, will be addressed, and the issue of unavailability of healthcare will be addressed. Thank God that we have somebody who is coming on board to give us real leadership. You see,
Senator Omo-Agege, yes, just one final question before you go. In April, end of April 2026, you pledged your support for the president, saying that his economic policies had increased significantly resources available to the state. Why should people trust you now, just less than 2 months afterwards, you changing allegiance and that you're now supporting Mr. Peter Obi? Don't you believe in his economic policies anymore? In fact, you had said that you are going to work for the APC top to bottom to ensure that they won their elections in Delta State. Very briefly, what would you have? Why should people trust your support and endorsement now when only less than 2 months ago you were singing the praises of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that you believed in his candidature based on the work that he had done?
Thank you very much. To begin with, I was a member of the APC. I never left the APC. The APC left me and left my over 240,000 supporters in Delta State. Now, when Mr. President came up with some of these economic policies, most especially this policy dealing with the Naira flotation, dealing with the subsidy removal. Now, these were policies I supported, and policies I continue to support. But let me tell you this, even though these were policies that were espoused by Mr. President, which policies I support, This same policy was also supported by Peter Obi. The question becomes, have I changed my opinion about this? No, I have not. I just believe that under the new platform that I've gone to, these policies will continue, and the people, the majority of Nigerians who have issues with that policy will feel more confident because they are more comfortable and trust Peter Obi that he'll be able to make these policies even work more than Mr. President could have done. The policies are not bad policies. I supported it under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I continue to support it.
All right.
Except this time, my own party will be espousing the same economic policies.
Well, you know, perhaps the question some people would ask is maybe whether you felt President Bola Tinubu did enough to protect his loyalists in all the defections and primary that happened. But beyond party politics, we know that there are two judgments currently sitting in the courts. One of them, of course, has been appealed by INEC, which is around the timetables for the election. Now, there's some gray areas involved. When you contested for your own primary, this ruling had not been delivered yet. And of course, it now gave you the room to be able to decamp to the NDC. Now, given that there's litigation ongoing, what do your options look like should the courts grant INEC the stay of execution on this ruling that currently suspends the timetable that would make your defection in essence ineligible for you to run for office, as it would have closed the primaries deadline? Very briefly, sir, your plan if this ruling from INEC, the appeal on this ruling is granted.
To begin with, you're working on certain assumptions, which assumptions may not be totally correct. And the last I checked, if I'm right, that was a declaratory judgment. I'm not so sure that you can stay a declaratory judgment. But having said that, your predicate too is also wrong. What makes you think that my candidacy is predicated on the outcome of the courts determining whether or not registration in a political party in their interpretation of Section 77 of the Electoral Act? What makes you think that my candidacy is predicated on that decision? I'm a member of the NDC. All that Section 77 talks about, Section 77 of the Electoral Act talks about, is that your name should be on the register of members submitted to INEC before May 10. What makes you think that my name was put on the register of NDC before May 10? Ponder about that, and then we'll discuss it further down the road. Thank you.
So much, Senator Ovie. Omo-Agege, we'll ponder on that. Notes. Yes, you've given us, absolutely, something to chew on. We thank you very much for your time with us this morning, and we wish you all the best in the cause of your ambition.